Okay, so here I have a map of major interstates across the United States, and I know it's a jumble, especially here on the East Coast. But basically, every single line that is the same color is part of the same interstate. And you can see here as I hover over individual line segments that, yeah, they're all broken into smaller pieces. But really, what I'd like to see is that they're all joined into one single line. So there's a tool we have called Join Lines, and there are join tools for points and areas as well, but today we're just going to be looking at Join Lines. And my target layer is just going to be the only one I've got, interstates. And I can either copy my results to a new layer or leave the lines or leave the join lines on the original target layer. So I'm just going to leave that for now. The proximity setting is just how close the endpoints of lines next to one another have to be considered in order to be joined. So 1 meter at this scale is, or at any scale, is quite small. So I'm going to crank it up to 1 kilometer. If there are gaps between adjacent lines, you can close them and join them together. And then you can choose to join lines that have a common attribute value. And I meant to show this beforehand, so I'm going to back out of there and switch to my attributes panel. I have all of my lines, 471 line segments, but many of them share a common attribute value because they are all part of Interstate 10. So that either the route name or the route number is what I can use as my common attribute for joining my lines together. Okay, so I set everything back up again, and I'm going to join based on route number. And then there's also the attributes tab, which allows you to specify some operations to perform on other attributes. So the length attribute is, as you can probably guess, how long each and every segment of the interstate is. And a more appropriate operation would be to add them all together. That way I end up with a total length of my joined lines. So when I click OK, let me just sort of minimize my attribute panel. Now when I hover over my interstates, I can see that they've been joined into a single line segment. You can see here Route 35 or Interstate 35, and my length attribute has been calculated for me as well.